Good day everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to look at another example on isometric drawing. Now when you hear the word isometric, the first thing that should come to your mind is the what? Is the inclined axis at an angle of what? 30 degrees. So what I will do is, I'm going to draw my inclined axis. I will draw the vertical, right? And I will also draw, when it's sitting this way, at a point here, where it meets here, I will draw the horizontal, which is at an angle of what? 30 degrees, right? Now, placing your T-square, your set square and your T-square this way, this side here is 30 degrees. I draw my inclined angle at an angle of what? 30 degrees like this, right? And I turn it this way, and I draw the other one too at an angle of what? 30 degrees. So these are my inclined angle at an angle of 30 degrees. Now what I will do here is this. Now the figure that we are drawing is this figure here. Now let me zoom it up. Let's see. We are drawing this figure in isometric projection. Now if you look at the entire length here, that means from the beginning of this point straight down to the ending here, it is 165, right? Now the 165 and also our entire width from here to here is 80. So for me to draw, I'll go back. My entire length is 165. I'll start from this point. This is my where I start my measurement from. I'm going to measure my entire length of 165. So placing it here, I'm going to start drawing. So this is 0 here, starting from 0. Then I'm moving up to 165, which is at this point here. So at this point here, this is 165, right? And my entire width, like I said earlier, when you observe it, is what? Is from here to here, and that is 80. Look at it. That is what? 80 here. So we'll draw my 80 from this point here. So from 0 to 1 to 8 is 80. Right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to project them up. So place my compass, my T-square, my set square, my T-square. I'll project it to that point of 80. I'll project it up. I'll move it to the other 165 here. I'll project it up. Right? So the next thing I'm going to do here is the height. Now if you look at our diagram here, our height is also 80. From here to here is 80. So I'm going to measure the 80. So let's go there. So I measure 80 from here. So from here I measure my 80. From 1 to 9 is 80. Or I'm going to use from 0 to 8. Right? This is the 80 here. Now I've successfully drawn that, and what I will do is I'm going to join them together this way. From this point, align my T-square be on my set square, be on my T-square. I join this point to this point with my faint line. Also, I do the same thing. I join this point to the other point with my straight line. We are joining from here to here, right? So I'll move it to this point. I'll move it to this point. It should be on my T-square. And I'm going to take it there and bring it down. So we're having this to this point. So pivot and meet. Also from that point also, I'm going to turn it this way. And I'll move this to this area here. And use this to join that. I'll just join from here to that point. So the first thing I'm drawing out is my box. Where they meet. Now, I haven't drawn this, having my box this way. I now want to come and start the drawing. Now, if you look at this very well, from here to this point, or we can just even start from here. From here to this point is what? 45, right? And from here, this is 45, Abby. Now from this 45 here to this next point here, giving us what? 10. So 10 plus 45 is what? 55. For me to get to this block here, I need to count 55 backward. So at this stage here, taking it back down, I'll measure 55. So let's do the measuring. From here, measure 55. From 0 to here is 65. Oh, good. So from that point, I'll take my compass, my set square, place it on my T-square, and the line is thickened. So I'll just likely just thicken the line from here to here. Because if you watch the line here, this line here is thickened. Now if you look at it very well again, from here to here is what? 20. And from here to here is equals to from here to here, which is 20. And also equals to from here to here, which is also what? 20. So I'm going to measure 20 millimeter. So measure my 20 at this point. From 0 to 2 is 20. And I'll also thicken it. I'll also what? Thicken it to this point. Right? And I'll also thicken this point too. Also thicken this point too. Now if you look at your diagram very well, it doesn't end there. Right? From here it is extended to the other part. So I'm going to extend this part to this part here. With the help of my set square, place it in on my T-square, and I'll draw from here. It's thickened to this point, and I'll draw from here also to this point. Can you see that? Now I will also place it here and close it up. From this point, I'll close it up to what I have here. Now if you look at this very well also, it is coming down. Now but I don't know the extent at which it comes down, so I'll use my faint line to just connect that downwards. So I'll use my faint line to connect it downward. Right? And I'll use this guy, my set square also. It must always be on my T-square for it to work effectively. So just from this place, 30 degrees to touch it here. So they are all meeting at this point. Now the next stage I want to do is to draw the circle. But before you want to draw anything circle in isometric, you must get the center of the plane it is resting upon. Like this circle is resting on this plane here. So I'm going to look for the center of this here. So if you look at this now, we know very well that it is 80. From here to here is 80. Here's my, from this point, right, let me zoom it. From this point to this point here is 80. Right, so I'm going to measure 80 here. I can do it here also, and then this. I'm going to measure 80. This is 10, 20, 30, 40. So half of 80 is what? 40. And I'll project it upward. So projecting. Something like this with my faint line. I'll draw it. Can you see that? I'll get the half of here too. So it can be easier. I'll just place my compass at this point, any of this point, or here. Get the center here. This is it. I'll just mark here. The second part of the 8, which is 40. And I use my set square to join from here to here. So this is where they meet. So this will be my center. Right? So let me take it down. Where is my center here? All good? So the next thing we want to draw here is the circle. Now the circle has this external circle has a diameter of 60. Let's look at it. This is a diameter of what? 50. Right? So I'll use 50. Measure 25, 25 in both sides. So this is 50, I mean 60. So since the diameter of that circle is 60, I'm going to take half of it, which is 30. I'll measure half of it, which is 30. And 0 to 3 is 30. Right? And I'll place it at the center here. I'm going to mark left, top, bottom, and right. So that's what we have there. Now I'll now take my set square and join these points together. So if I move my set square to this point here, I'll just draw my horizontal line this way. Right? I'll come to the top too, which is this point here. I'll draw another horizontal line. Should not touch the main figure. And I'll stand it up this way to the next point that I mark. And I'm going to connect them together with my faint line like this. And see that? Then I'll move it to the other point here. So I'm going to join from here to that point to my faint line. Now in doing that, I brought out this shape here. So I will join this last point, this point, draw a diagonal line passing through the center here. You can see the center. I'm going to draw this line. Can you see that? And I'm going to join from this point to the horizontal here, and I'll join from this point to the vertical here. Oh, good. So after joining this point to this point and this point to this point, where they intersect the diagonal here, joining these 2 points here, it will be your point. So you're going to take your compass, you place it at this top, this end here. Let me zoom it up a little bit so you guys understand what I'm doing. Take a diagonal and you're going to join it together. So we place it here on this end and take it to this top line here. So you gauge it to see if it is touching, and if it's touching, you just draw a line. You should be able to start with faint line first. We're having this, right? Then you turn it to the other point, so you place it here, and you gauge it to this point too. So if it's there, you just draw a faint line, and you place it at this point where they meet here also. And you have this faint line first, and you come here also, place it here, gauge it here. You have this. Now we have successfully gotten this circle, this inner circle here. Let me zoom it up, you see. We've just drawn the base circle here. Now from this circle, which is this one we just draw here, we want to take it, increase the height to what? 10 millimeter. So I measure 10 from that point upward. So we're having this. So we measure 10. How can we measure the 10? We go to the end of this point here, right? With the help of your T-square and your set square, you draw a parallel line like this. It's turning this way, and you move it to this point here. Right? If you move it there, draw from this point, you extend it outward. And when you extend it outward, you measure 10 millimeter. So if I use my meter rule, I'll measure 10. So this is 10 here. Now I'll do it at every point. I will come here, I will extend here too, I will join this point to this point. From this point, I'll measure it to touch where I extended, which is this. You can see that? And I'll turn it backward, go to the other end in here also, which is this. I will extend it out too. Then I'll join this point that I touched here, you can see it. And I'll take it downward to touch here, you can see that. And also I'm going to extend here too, the end point here. Then I'm going to join from this end point here, right, to this point, the meet here, and here to here, meeting here. So we have that, brought that box out. So the thickness is now 10. So I'll repeat the same process. So it will be more easier for me. What I'll do is I'll join these two points here, the diagonal point here. Join these two lines like this. My front line. So instead of me repeating those same processes, I only transfer the point. So how do I transfer this point? This point, so I move my T-square to that point here. I'll record that from here to here is on the same line. This is here. Right? I don't want to just draw a line. I would have drawn a line like this, but I don't want that. So from here to here, the same point, I'll come here too. From here to here, to the same point. All good. And also this point here to this point is the same, and also this point to here, this is the same here. Now let's take my compass. Taking my compass, I'm going to place it at this end, then take it to this point here, right? And I'm going to draw. So if I draw from here to here, it's meeting here. I'll use the front line. I'll come here also, place it here. I'll take it to this point too, and I'm going to draw. To touch here. Right? Just like what I did initially. So I place at the center here. I'm going to gauge it from here. I'm going to get a point there. I'll get this. I'll come here too. This point here. I'm going to get here too. So I've done that. See, it's thickened here. So how will I do again? Let me start taking what I want to thicken. But before then, we want to draw this outward, and you see the height is so if you notice it, I will now come to this external point here and draw another circle here. Right? I'll come here and draw another center to get another center here. Don't forget that we have one center here already. So either I just measure 40 like this. I'll measure the 40 on my meter rule, which is half of 80, right? And I'll place it here. I'm going to mark here and I'll mark here. Look at where I'm placing it. Mark here and here. So from there, I'll project it up. I'll project it up. And I'll bend this way. It's always on my T-square. And I'll get here too. This is where they meet. So this is the center. So if you look at this diagram very well, let me zoom it. You discover that the outer circle here is what? 40, and the inner circle is 26. That's diameter, right? So I'm going to measure 40 first, then later I'll do 26. So let me first of all do the 40. So from here, I'll take half of 40 on my meter rule. Half of 40, which is 20. Right? I'm going to place at the center here. I'll mark left, top, down, and right. That's what I'm going to mark. So I'll use my set square and T-square to join them together in form of a box. So this is this. I'll move up to. This is this. and I'll stand it. This is this. Now move here too. This is this. Now I'll join the diagonal point here together from this side to this side, because that looks like the longest part there. And I'll have this, right? And in doing that, I'm going to join where this guy meets with this guy, which is here. I'll draw a line that will touch this point here. I'll draw another line from the same point, which is on this point here. So I'll go to this point and this point. So with the help of my compass, I'll place my compass here to this point. I'll draw, gauge it, so I'm having something like this. You can see that. I'll turn to the other point too. I'll gauge it. I'll have this too. Do my faint line first. I'll place at this point too. And I'll gauge it. So if I gauge it, I'll have something like this. And I'll come here also. I'll gauge it. First of all, use a faint line to be sure where you're heading to. Or something like this. Now I'll not thicken it. By thickening it, I'll have something like this. Now let's thicken it. I'm thickening this guy because if you look at our diagram here, it is thickened out through. So I'll come here at this point. I'm going to thicken it. So if I do that, we have this. Right? And I'll come to that point too here. I have that too. And I'll place it here also to get this. I'll have that. So we're having that. Then I'll turn this to this point. We have this way. We have this. Now in doing that, what you just do next is that if you look at our diagram here, it is connected to this in here. Right? So that means there have to be another circle at this point here. How will you do that? You just draw your horizontal line. Just draw a horizontal line to move from this point, right? And you take it here to touch this inclined line here. And you come here also, you move this other end here to touch this inclined line here. All good? So what you just simply do, from this point here, you draw a line from here that will just move straight this way, and from this point here too, you should allow them meet. So if you look at it, from this point that I draw to this point, our light meets to this line here. Alright, so from here is now forming a box from this point to this point here. So from here, from this point here, you're going to move from this side here to this side here. So So you just move from this point here where this line come here and you draw. So from that point, on this side too, draw from here to touch this point here. From this point. So now it has formed a box. Look at the box here. So if you do that, first thing you do is to get the center of the line, of this diagonal line here. So move your T-square, your set-square and your T-square to this point here, and you get the center here. This is the center. Now when you get the center here, you try and stand it up and draw a vertical line like this, and you lie it down and draw an horizontal line like this. So where they meet at this point, see this vertical line, right, is touching here, and this horizontal line is also touching here where they meet. Then here is here, and here is here, and here is here. So I bring it down at this point here. So what I will do is this. At this ending point here, I will place my compass, right? Take it to where I meet here, and I will draw. You can see that? So from here, I'll just draw this. I'll draw this. Sorry. So that's what we have there. Second point I'm going to get is this point here. I'm going to transfer that point. I'll transfer it from here and to here. This is the point here, touching here, and the second one here too, to this point here too. So I'm having these 2 points here, this and this, right? So if I place my compass here, which is this one here, if I place my compass here, I'll take it to this point here, and I'll draw a line, but it should not pass that inclined line from here. So that's what I'm going to do here. So in doing that, I'll come here also. I'll place it at this point here. Place at this point. I'll gauge it from here. I'll touch the line too. So this is what I'll be having. So in doing that, I'll have that. So that's what we have here. Hope you can see that. Now what I'll do is, at this end here, which is this end here, this end you see here, right, is this end here, and I'll join it to this. So how will I join that? Take my set square and put that point. I'm going to join here to here. You can see that. And I'll come here also. I'm going to join here to here. Right? So, if I've done that, to look at the diagram very well again, I'll complete the rest. I'll start taking in them. So the first one I have is this. I'll take it here. Right? And I'm going to take in this to this point. So I'll have to do this way. Right? And I'll come to the next point, which is this here. This point here. And I'll draw this to touch the other line here. This point here. To touch this. All good? Right? Now the next one I'll do, see this is for this one, then this is for this. So I'll come to this point too. I'm going to do this one to touch here. So if I've done that, this other line here is for this, so I'm going to join it to touch here. Now you join these 2 points. So what you do is, you're going to join these 2 points too with your rule. You join these 2 points with your rule from here to this point here. and this point here is from here. Then you're going to just complete it, touch here. All good. And the other one is for this. Now you use a rule and you join from here to this point here, right? So from here you are going to, if you look at our diagram very well here, the circle, second circle is going straight down to that circle. So just for me to get that aspect there, I'm going to place it at this point and I'll complete it to here. So let's complete it. Then from here, then after doing that, need to touch down here. So let me just put that. So, and the top here too is going in. So I'm going to place it here to this point. This point here. And do this. So from here, I will just complete what I want to complete. If you look at your circle very well, we've done all that. This is here. I will just bring it down from here to here, and I'll just take here in. Then what is remaining is this that is inside here. There's a circle here inside here, and the diameter of that circle is 26. So I made it 26 to get that guy. Follow the same process, and you take half of 26, which is 13. You measure 13. This is measure 13 millimeter. Right? Place it at the center. You mark left, you mark right, you mark top, and you mark bottom. And you do the same thing. Do the same thing. Just like what we've been doing before. After bringing that box out, you just get the other one out. It's just a 26. And it will be like this. So this is what you have here, which is really 26. And sometimes you can use your French curve. You check your French curve, it can assist you in drawing this, but that is how you do to get that. Now I've successfully drawn this outside part here, right? Now it's remaining from here backward. That is what we're about to do now. So from here we will complete this box at the back. So how would I complete it? I'll take my set square and I'll place it here on my T-square. Take this backward, right? And take half of 80 because it's 80. So you take 40. So from 1 to 5 is 40. And I'll place it here. I'll mark here and I'll mark here. I only want to get the center there. So if I place it there, I'm going to have this. And I'm going to have this. So this is the center here. That's what I need. So connecting those two centers. Notice it, that's the center of both of them. This is where they meet. Right? Now what I will do at the center here is that, if you look at our diagram very well, this is the center point here. Right? So from the center, before I do that, I'll measure what? 22. I'm going to what? Measure 22, because from here to here is 22. So from the center, I'll measure 11, 11 to each of those two sides. So if I measure my 11 from 0 to here is 11, right? I'll place it at this point here. I'll mark at the left side 11, and I'll mark at the right side 11. So with the help of my set square, I'll project it to the back point here, which is here, the front line. I'll project it to the back point, which is here, front line. So that is my 11.11. Now, from here, if you look at the thickness from here to here, it's 20, it's 40, right? Let me zoom in so you see it. From this teeth here, this end beginning to this end here is 40. So I'll take half of it, is 20. So if I measure the 20 from 0 to 2 is 20, then I'll place it here. And I'll measure 20 inward. Right? And I'll measure 20 inward. If I measure that 20, from that 20 I measure inward. I'm going to draw my vertical and horizontal line. This is vertical, right? And this is the horizontal line. So on that vertical horizontal line, I will now measure 20 to the left and 20 to the right. 20 to the left and 20 to the right. So from that 20 to the left, I'm going to draw the vertical line, which is already there, this, and I'll draw an horizontal line through here. Right? So on that vertical horizontal line, I'm going to measure 20 to the left and 20 to the right. 20 here, this is here, 20 to the left, 20 to the right. So I'm forming a box. So this is the box I'm having here. And this box I'm having here. I've got in a box here. You can see the box. And I'll come here and I'll repeat the same feat. Draw my vertical line here also. And draw the horizontal line too. Like this. So I'm going to measure the same 20 upward and downward. 20 up and 20 down, 20 left and 20 right. So I'll have something like this. Cover it up. So I've gotten two boxes. If you notice, this is box here, box here, box here, and here, and this is another box here. And here and here. So I need these two boxes to draw my circle. So let's see how it goes from here. Now from here we want to draw out the circle, which is what we'll do now. So drawing out the circle, like I said earlier, you are going to join the longest diagonal. This is from here to here, passing through the center, right? You come here also, you do the same thing, passing through the center. Now from this point here, you draw a line. From here, draw a line that will touch here, and from this point here, you draw a line that will touch here, right? So at this point, this is where they meet, and at this point, this is where they meet. You do the same thing here too. From this point, you draw a line that is going to touch here, and from here also, you draw the line that then touch here. We're having this and then that, right? We're having that. So we'll draw a circle now. When you draw the circle, you place your compass here and gauge it to this point here. So when you gauge it, it's a touch here. So we're having this. And then you come here also, you do the same thing, gauge it from here, right? You have this different line. You can see that? And you place it here too, take it to this point here, and you draw. Right? And you come here too, you do the same thing. Now use my faint line and draw it. So if you bring out that shape here, we're trying to draw this outside circle. I've gotten this circle here, so I'm going to thicken it. Thicken it, I'll be having something like this. You'll be having that. Now you do the same thing here too. Now if you do it here, if you notice it, you just connect from this ending to this ending point here with the help of your set square. So I place it here and I move it to this point here. I'll have from here to here, and I'll just stop here. Hope you can see that. Now what do you notice? At this point, it is moving to touch from here. It's straight and going up. It's going up to touch here, which is this point here. So I'm going to touch it. I'm doing that, so I'll draw from here straight down. But before you do that, you first of all draw an arc like this, and you gauge it, something like this. Hope you can see that. And you're going to join from this point to this point. Yeah. Since from here to here is 22, right? It's 22. So that will be 32. Since I measured from here to here to 22, I used 22. So I used 22 here. Now that means I'll measure 22 from this point here inward. So from here I'll measure 22 inward from here. So we have these 20, 21, 22, right? So I'll measure 22 here to this point. So if I should join from here to here, I'll have this. I'm going to join from this 22 to this point here. right? So that's the 22 that we have. Actually, we have 22. That means from this point here that I measure 22, I will draw a line, like a straight line from that point somewhere around here. Now I'm going to put another circle here, which is this. So at that point, I'm going to measure this in. So I'll have something like this. So take your set square, join this end to this end here. Join this end to this end, right? And also this end is already joined. You're measuring 22 outward here. So if I measure the 22 outward from this point here, I'll measure the 22. I'll have this. And I'll close it up to form my box from that point now. So this will move from here up here to form a box. And this will close up from here to here. So I'm forming the box to get here. I'll close it up too. Right, so this line is meeting it here. So at this point, I'll take it into just to form my box. So this is the box I have formed here. This point, this point, this point, and this point. I'll also do the diagonal too. Draw a diagonal from here to here. So I have a diagonal here. So I'll join this point here to this point, then this point to this point here. Like I said, you join here to this point. We're also repeating the same process we've been doing for the circle this way. Join from here to here, and also join. So we've already gotten this point and this point. Right? So we now use our compass. We want to get this inner circle here. Right? So from here I can place it at this ending. This ending here to get to this point here, and I'll draw my arc. I'll draw that arc here. Then I will place it here to connect this to this. So to just touch here. All good? So I'll place it there. So there's a circle to touch here. Now you're going to join these 2 points together. You need to join these 2 points together. And also you're having this. Now we'll connect this to this. Now the next thing we are doing is, we know very well that this point, I will just complete this, draw this to go in, you can see. Then you stand this on your set square and take it to this point here, this point, and you trace it down to meet this line. So this is a line here, right? So now target this end here to that point, right? So just join so it will become something like this. Are we good? So from there, having that, we need this our inside circle here. So you follow the same process. You have something like this. You have something like this in. Now there's another through in also. So I will have this, which is this. Following the same process. Now what else again do we have? Nothing. Again, I don't have any other thing here we want to do. So this is what we have successfully drawn. So if this video was helpful, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.